All right. All right. All right. We are recording now. We are live. I want to welcome everyone. I am Master Mentor Odiela Jackson, or the Royal Rulers in Training. And for those who don't know how to get on here, if you see this video, we're on the Zoom every Wednesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 o'clock. And we are in here and we welcome everybody. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And I would like for you to get your notebook and your pad. I got mine. Got the notebook and pads and pencils and devices that you want to do screenshot. That is all allowed here. And please take notes because we will be asking questions along the way or at the end. We're going to ask what is your takeaway and all that. And tonight we have our guest is Zane Pierre. I guess he'll be along in a few. But while we are waiting, okay, just want to ask a couple questions of Lionel. You're not on here. Ask, Lionel, just want to ask a couple questions. Hey, Candy Swirl, ain't you on here? I thought I seen Candy Swirl on here. Candy
I
Swirl.
am here.
Oh, yes, she is. Oh, I like that. You made that?
Yeah, more like it's an edit. We're taking two characters from a app that I usually do on my YouTube channel, and so basically this is like my YouTube channel picture. I
Mm-hmm.
just put that
Mm-hmm.
on for now.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. I love your work. Okay, Lionel is coming in. All right. So, what can y'all tell me while we're waiting for Zane to come? What can you tell me of some of the stuff that you have already learned, which is going to help you with when our guests come, when we start exercising our spiritual senses? But first of all, you got to have ears to hear, you got to listen, and you got to actually do what you're learning. So, participation is very much welcome here. Okay. So, I'm gonna check on Zane. Anybody can tell me what things you've been learning? What did you learn last week? Let's go there. Not everybody at the same time. Anything anybody took notes from last week? You can look at your notes. Somebody tell me what is the name of God?
Principle and functionality.
I can't hear you. You muted.
Princ-
Oh, your thing is
Principle and functionality.
principle and functionality. Yes. And somebody tell me what is your position?
Position is to be self-existent, and disposition would be to have dominion.
Come on now. Thank you. I didn't even have to ask you. You the initiative. I love it. Anyway, Lionel, what did you get? What have you been getting? Anybody remember last week's lesson? Anybody remember the title? Trying to see if Zane come trying to reach me. Let's see. I don't see Zane on here. Lonnie, what did you get? Tell us while we're waiting.
Uh, what I got from last week?
Yeah.
Mm,
You remember anything?
no, I don't.
Anybody remember anything from last week? Y'all take any notes?
I take notes, but I don't see. What's the next second I play?
What did we do when we when the breakout room? Anybody remember what we did in the breakout room?
We it was prophecy, I believe. We were getting like a thought coming into our head and then speaking what we see.
Yes, because why? Our minds is what?
Just trying to just
It's
trying
the
to figure out
screen
like
of
what do
God.
I mean?
It's the
Yeah,
screen of God. So when you're doing prophecy, knowing that your mind is the screen of God, as you renewed your mind from His word, which what is His word, y'all?
his word
Uh,
is thought
thought.
and ways.
Right. Thank you. Exactly, Kenny's world. His word is thoughts and ways. So when you are prophesying, your mind should be the screen of God, and so therefore, only thing that He's gonna what you call it? The only thing that He is gonna manifest is His word. Jeremiah 1:12 tells you that He watches over His word to perform it. So whatever comes on your mind screen, it must come from Him for it to be for there being a manifestation. Okay. Now you can have some negative manifestation. Remember, it's two sides to a coin, but you want the manifestation that Elohim God has, not what the double-minded or the codependent mindset or the world system that we're not to conform to. We don't want that because that's not going to give you the results for for the purpose of you being you're designed the way God designed you. All right. So we don't want to malfunction or be dysfunctional. We want to function like our Father. We're after His own seed. We're after His own kind. We made in His image. We and His likeness. We are His offsprings. So we are supposed to be doing what He does, but you must be lined up. Your mind and thoughts and ways should be like His. This is the way that people call miracles happen. They really are supposed to be natural for us, not we shouldn't see it that we shouldn't see it that way, but that's what they call it because it's something that happens when it's supernatural. It's from the spirit realm. All right. I hope I ain't talked too much. Did y'all get that?
Yeah, we got that.
Okay. Okay, cool. Now let me just text him on his messenger and see if he's trying to get in. I did give him the link. He might be teaching because he's always teaching. So we're gonna get him in here. Let me text him again and remind him. He is a busy man. Okay. Okay, let me see. Zane. Let me see. Can I get Zane? Okay, here we go. He texting me now. Hello, holy sister. Any Skype link? Uh, no. We're on Zoom. I sent the link. I know I sent it. Y'all forgive me. Okay, let me copy this link that I sent before so he can get on. Copy and so he's coming soon. All right. Did y'all remember the three things about prophecy? There was three things we learned about prophecy. Number one is you have to have his mind, right?
Mhm.
And I done these my notes from um that's for the next class we do. I can't be giving y'all that one. Okay, I don't see him popping up. Yeah, I gave him the link now. All you gotta do is hit the link and come on in. Oh, did I give him the code? Should have been a code with it. Hold on.
Yeah, because the only way we could get into the meeting is you have to have that code.
The
It'd be pretty
code,
bad if you didn't get it.
yeah, he probably trying to do it without the code. Okay, 708-749. And when they send a link, they should send the code with it. You know what I mean? I copied and pasted.
Yeah, I mean, at least they should, but they're like,
Right. It's
eh,
just not there. Oh my
who needs
goodness.
the code?
Right.
They can figure it out themselves.
Well, they came up with the code when the COVID-19 came. So, because
Oh
people was
yeah.
doing
Hmm.
crazy stuff with the Zoom. So now they have
Yep.
to, you have to use the code. Okay, now they made it hard for us all. So, all right, brother Zane is gonna let me put his what he's talking about when he come on. So it'll already be up here. Uh, our guest speaker is Zane Pierce. He's gonna be talking about wisdom and communication in the name. So get ready to take your notes and what do you call it? Take your notes and screenshot or whatever. Because I'm sure he got his own PowerPoint. At least I think so. Yeah, dropping everything. All right. All right. I don't see anyone yet. Let me see if he's getting this.
As for right now, we only have 4 participants.
Is it four? So that's me,
Yes.
Lonnie, you, and oh, right. We still do. That's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to wait for him to come in so I can turn the meeting over to him. So he's coming, I guess. I sent the link. All right. You get the code. All right now, because you can tell at the bottom how many participants we got, right?
Yes.
Okay, we will have. This is all right. But I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, I cannot find the what is it? The PowerPoint for that. Cause I would pull that up and just start continue teaching on that until he come. But I'm like, where is these PowerPoints going that I'm saving? I'm like, where they go? I'm gonna have to do an investigation. I'm like, I'm like, this one here I know is saved, but where are the rest? Anyway, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me now? Brother Zane? Okay, you in the room.
Yeah, I see him in the room. It's just I
Yeah.
don't see a microphone option.
Oh yeah,
I
how
think he's
about
trying to
that?
set up with microphone.
Probably. Yeah, I gotta do an investigation on those PowerPoints. I'm like, how do they just disappear? I don't get this.
They're just like, goodbye. We're not here anymore.
Right? I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta continue teaching on that. Gotta get that back up here. Brother Zane, you there? I don't see no mic neither, so I just start the video. Allow waiting room. Lord, I'm gonna have to find out how to turn the meeting over to him. Like I think I remember a little bit about it. Did we go to the participants?
Is everybody hearing me?
Now we hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Sure.
Hear that voice, that heavenly voice.
Say
Can you
again?
see us?
Yes, I'm seeing you, but this Zoom went real slow on my side.
Oh, it's running slow there.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry about that.
real slow. But
And
everybody hearing me, yes?
we
Yes, I
can
can
hear
hear you.
you very much so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want me to turn this meeting over to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, and here we go, making you the host. Do you want to change? Yes, I do. I want to change. Close this.
Wow, this is what is ridiculous.
There you go.
Thank
We see
you.
you now. We see you now.
I am not seeing. I am not even seeing myself right now.
You're not.
No. I don't know
I'm
what and why. Okay.
I was. It says screen share, but disable. So right, because you're the host now. So I can close
Okay.
mine.
All right. All right. Well, let me just put my presentation here then. I'm trusting that y'all are seeing because I ain't seen anything on my side.
Yeah, we can see you loud and clear.
All right. All right. Hey, this thing moving slow. Oh, Jesus. I command this computer to move faster than that.
Yes, I'm in agreement.
It took like 10 minutes just to open Zoom.
She's just trying to get the zoom up.
Just to open Zoom is 10 minutes. Like, what the heck?
So it didn't open yet.
Yeah, it's not opening.
Okay.
I'm still not seeing myself, but
Did you share? Let me see. I see the physics of the breath of life.
hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on.
Okay.
All right. All right. So, let's see.
We're on YouTube Live.
Ah,
Is
all
that the
right.
problem?
Not at all, not at all.
Okay.
All right. So we are, that's now. Sure. All right. So I think I'm sharing my screen here now. Let's hope that doesn't take the next 5 minutes.
Right.
Everybody
Here
see
it
that?
comes. Waiting for it to come up. It ain't come up yet. It says you are viewing Zane's Pierce screen, but I don't see anything up there yet. Here we go. Communication. Got it.
All right. I'm now seeing myself. I'm now seeing
Yeah.
myself.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Pleasant night to all. Please pardon the delay.
Welcome. Welcome.
Um, so let me just get familiar with everybody here. Pleasant night to Lego B. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's awesome, man. Candy Swirl.
Over here.
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Nice. It's a long time I haven't seen you both.
Yes, it has.
All right. And who is Ion?
There's
Eon.
Lionel.
Lionel. Lionel, I trust that you're okay, sir.
Lionel, you being talked at. Lonnie. This guy here giving me a hard way to go. Lionel.
He
Oh, my mic wasn't connected. Yeah, I know.
okay. All is well?
Yeah.
Awesome. I've actually seen some of your pictures on Facebook. Congratulations on the successful completion of your grading.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You
after congratulating on that,
say it again.
I say I have to congratulate you on that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I've seen it online because I actually myself, no, I no longer do that, but I actually spent at least a decade studying Chinese martial arts. So, and I see your pictures, it brings great delight.
All right.
All right. So tonight, everyone, just in case you forget who I am Zane.
Right.
Right? Who is this Odiela? How have you been?
I'm doing okay.
Uh,
Okay. We always excited that you was coming.
all right.
Okay.
Well,
We
I'm glad
always
to.
excited. So we all know you. So you're like, oh, Satan's coming. Yes.
Amen. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I trust that I didn't leave you stretching too much, waiting on that on images and so on.
No. So look, we just went over review some stuff while we waited.
Okay. All right. So tonight in particular, when Holy Sister Dealer contacted me to join you all today and tomorrow concerning in royal rulers, I decided, one of the things in particular that most of us now in society really need to grasp is how to communicate. And how to communicate from your spirit, most importantly, because communication could come from anything. You could use
Right.
anything as a reference point, as motivation to communicate. But if you all want really good relationships, whether it's family, friends, and in the future you want to have good relationships even with a romantic interest, because you're going to get there eventually, you want to be able to know how to communicate, right? And not only just understand how you are communicating with someone, but to be wise in your communication. That's a whole different story, right? Now, really, when it gets down to it, communication is simply transmitting information from one person to the next. The objective of the communication is really to, I don't know if you all ever paid attention to what your communication processes looks like. But when you're speaking to someone, you don't really just communicate with words. Most of the times, when you're speaking to someone is because you have a mental picture, like a vision of something that you are seeing in your mind, and you're using your words to try to explain what you see in your mind. Have you ever noticed that? No? Anybody? You ever notice that when you're speaking to someone, depending on what you're speaking on, you might be more aware of the fact that you're trying to explain something to them is because you're actually trying to explain what you're seeing in your mind.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with communication. So you're trying to say what you're seeing in your mind with words and description.
Right. So basically, when you're communicating, what you're really trying to do is to give them the words that will help them see what you're seeing in your mind in the same way that you're seeing it.
Mm.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, this is normal, right? But right now, I think that you all may just realize that you're living in a society where there's so much social media, so much things taking place. And if you don't know what communication is and how to manage communication through wisdom, then it's very easy for you to actually hear people say things and you take offense to it, or you even begin to feel as though they're making you feel sad, or they're making you feel as though you're not good enough. Have you ever encountered something like that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Can you spell?
Possibility, yeah, I would say
Yeah.
sometimes like where those could happen.
Right. Lego B? Ever encountered that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Lionel? Ever encountered that? Bro?
Oh, my mic's still not on.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah. Say that again.
Have you ever encountered situations in communication where persons actually tell you something that could be offensive, or they tell you something that makes you feel as though you feel not sufficient?
Are you asking me how I would feel?
No, have you ever encountered things like that?
Oh, yes, yes.
Right. Well, this is basically what we have out here, what we are actually going to be talking about here today, and how to manage that. Right? It's something that most people don't really talk about, but it's really necessary for you to really manage it. Right now, so Holy Sister Odiela would have actually been speaking to you all about living from your spirit, yes?
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that she may have communicated to you already is that your spirit works with a particular principle. And she would have called that principle the principle of self-existence.
Yeah.
Right. Now, that principle of self-existence is basically the principle that pretty much gives you the understanding as to how to conduct yourself in communication and how not to take on communication that actually, how to manage communication that has the intention of trying to diminish you. How to manage that communication so that you are not affected. Right. So basically, well, what we're going to be speaking about here really is how you're actually going to interpret that principle. What does that principle mean in communication? And how you're going to apply that principle in communication so that you could communicate. And even if people speak like that, it does not affect you in any form or fashion. There's a way you can carry on your communication and not affect others and not allow them to affect you. And they can have the worst perspective, but it would never affect you once you understand the principle of your own spirit and how to manage your emotions or your heart and mind based on that principle. Now, when it comes to self-existence, if you translate the title self-existence to communication, it translates into what we call self-determination. Does anybody know what self-determination is?
I'm pretty sure I know, like for determination is where you have that more like a pulling where you keep on going, or you just keep on going and you don't give up.
All right, so that's one definition of determination, which is accurate. But in this case, determination would be more specific to coming to a conclusion, determining something.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you have a math equation in front of you and you're working it out, you can say that you determined that the answer is this.
Okay.
Right. Now, self-determination is how self-existence is translated in communication. And self-determination is simply you actually coming to your own understanding or making your own decisions without being influenced by external factors. And let me say that again. Self-determination would be basically you coming to a decision or you reasoning something independent of external persuasion or external impulses. So, for example, let's just take a look at what being influenced by external factors would look like. Let's say you're on social media, on Facebook, and somebody says, if you're really a big boy or a big girl, you would do this, and you go and you do that. Are you functioning from your own determination, or are you actually functioning from something or from an external influence?
If we get told, well, if someone tells you you're like a big boy or something,
Right.
and you follow that, you're following someone else's mindset.
Exactly. So therefore, you're functioning by external influence. That's not self-determination. Therefore, it's not self-existent. Another example, you're on social media and you see everybody on TikTok, for example. They're on TikTok and they're posting videos and they're dancing and they're looking for likes. If you're making videos looking for likes, are you functioning by your own determination, or are you looking for the opinions of others?
That would be opinions of others. More like validation, I would say.
Exactly, looking for personal validation or a sense of personal legitimacy. Right? That's not self-determination. That's actually allowing, or actually technically what you're doing is asking or expecting others to make you feel validated or approved. So if your video has a lot of likes, you feel like someone. If your video doesn't have much likes, you don't feel as though you're someone. Now, right now, there are a lot of people who actually live from that perspective, and what they do is end up in mental health issues. Some people actually fall into depression because they believe, well, nobody's liking my videos, so I might not be that.
What happened? We lost him?
I just felt something that it just cut as he was speaking.
I thought my screen for
Okay. I guess I must having internet problems. All right, come on with this. Come back. Come back, Zane.
Testing.
We hear you there.
Testing. You hear me?
Yeah, okay, now we can hear you. You just kind of cut it out there.
Almost good.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
We hear you.
All right.
Yeah, we hear you. And finally we get to see your camera.
Say again?
Yeah, we can see your camera now. We can hear you.
Okay, lovely, lovely. Right. So last thing I was saying was, if you're actually looking for likes and things like that, what you're doing is actually pretty much giving everybody else the responsibility to give you a sense of validation or a sense of personal legitimacy. And what usually happens is when you are not receiving that, you tend to fall into what people now refer to as mental health issues. You start to feel depressed. You start to feel as though you're not enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not attractive enough, you're not, people don't find you attractive and things like that. And people actually want to come, even could get to the point of wanting to commit suicide for that. All right. Oh, that right there means that you're really functioning from a perspective where you're really depending on others to give you a sense of value. Does that resonate with you? Does that resonate with anybody here? You've seen that all around, yes? Where people actually do those things.
I definitely see that a lot. Where, especially if I'm looking, because I play online with other kids, and sometimes I would just sit back, and some of them may just have problems, and I just feel really bad that they don't know like what's going on.
Yeah.
I do see that too.
Yes, you see it as well?
Yeah.
Right. Now that right there can be managed. And today we're going to take a look at how to manage it. Now, self-determination means that you determine who you are, what you are, and what you represent independent of external influence. That means that, as Holy Sister Odiela has already taught you, when it comes to your identity, that you are self-existent. And that means that the self-existent principle places you in a position where you exist independent of everybody else's opinion. Is that making sense? And whether or not, so let's use a simple example. If there's a glass of water on a table, and there are 10 people in the room with you, you are number 11. And all of you watch this glass of water. If 10 of these people hate the water, and they don't like the water, and they criticize the water, and say that water is dirty, and they say they don't have good opinions concerning the water. Does that change the reality of the water in that glass?
Well, if you're looking at the water perspective, like let's say with water is there just to help nourish, but it depends on the mindset, how you think about it. If you think that water is dirty, you're going to think that the water is dirty, but really in reality, it's not dirty.
In reality, it's not dirty.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that everybody could have their own opinions there.
Mm-hmm.
Their opinion will determine how they experience the water. But that does not change the actual objective reality that the water is a nice, clean glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If they have a good opinion concerning the water, does that change the quality of the water? Whether they have good or bad opinions about the water, that doesn't really change the quality of the water. The water is still a good, clean glass of water.
Yeah, it's going to be water.
Right. Here's another example. You have $100 in your pocket, and somebody take that $100 and throw it in the park, and it end up in mud. And everybody watches the $100 and say, that's a dirty $100. That $100 is dirty. They have the worst opinion about it. Does that change the fact that it's $100?
No, it does not change the fact it's still $100.
We take the $100 and we throw it up on the mountain, and it end up in the filth of an animal. Does that change the fact that it's $100?
No, it's still $100.
We take it and we throw it into the sea, and it sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and it's filled with molds and moss. You can hardly see it. Does that change the fact that it's $100?
It's still $100.
If we take it and we put it on a different planet, and that planet is ice, and it's frozen in ice, I can't see the $100. Does that change the fact that $100 is frozen in the ice?
No, it's
It'll
still
always
$100.
be, it'll be $100.
It's still be $100.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically what it means to be self-determined. To determine what you are, and no matter what people think about who you are, what you are, the only opinion that matters about who and what you are and what you represent is yours. Which means you always want to find a reliable source. If you're not very clear as to what you are and who you are and what you represent, then what you want to do is to find a reliable source of information that can give you that information, not the whole world. Is that making sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Now,
Yeah.
the Spirit of God in you makes you self-existent. That means, as a self-existent being, there is nothing that, as a self-existent being, you are a creator. Let me say that again. As a self-existent being, you are a creator. Right? You being self-existent means that you, whatever you need, you create. So if you are a creator and somebody tells you, or actually, let me ask this question. If you are a creator, can you ever lack anything permanently?
No, I don't think you would lack anything because you can create anything.
Because you could create.
Mm-hmm.
So what you want, you create. Yeah?
Right.
Right.
Like,
So if anybody comes and tells you that you are not this, would that be true?
No, that wouldn't be true.
It wouldn't be true. Because if you want to be that, you could create it. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Which means if you lack something right now and you are a creator, the only thing that you need to create is just more information for you to create it. What you have not created, it may be that you don't know how to create it as yet. So if somebody tells you that you are not smart, is it that you're not smart? Or is it that perhaps you're just not given, you just may not actually have the information for this particular area right now?
You just wouldn't have the information for that area just right now. It doesn't
Does
mean
that-
that you're dumb. You just need a little push in that direction.
Yes, you just need the information for that area.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that you have any weaknesses?
No.
No. What people call weaknesses is really that you're just lacking information in that area. Making sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Nice. No, self-determination means that you actually are you are actually taking the responsibility to create what you need. Which means when it comes to communication, you want to create good communication. good communication doesn't happen by itself. Because you're a creator, you have to create good communication. You have to create everything that you want. Right? Now, when it comes to communicating, communication is always it's even though it's the communication of thoughts to others, you actually communicate in words what they need to be able to have them understand what you understand. Communication must be managed according to everybody around you. Now, in your life, well, before I even I'm getting to that, this diagram that you're seeing in front of you here is what we call the circles of trust management. Or we actually also call it the circle of self-existent energetic management. Now, it might be looking a little complex. I don't know if it looks complex to you, but if it looks complex, I will guarantee you it's not that complex. Once you understand what you're looking at, then you are actually going to find it very useful. Now, we just mentioned that communication is the transference of your mental picture to somebody else using language. That's what you're doing, right? Whether it's a spoken language or even sign language, it's still a mental picture that you're communicating. Communication in your life has to be managed, and it should be managed according to the categories of persons in your life. Now, remember we just mentioned that if you're self-existent, then you are self-determining. And if you're self-determining, then your decisions concerning your relationships and the trust that comes with the relationships must not be determined by anyone else. It should be determined by you. Now, because your spirit is self-determining, it means that you have the ability to come to conclusions or to decide for yourself on how you manage the categories of persons in your life. Now, I'm sure most of you here could say that in your life, you have persons that you know, that you encounter out on the road, or that you don't know, and you call them strangers, yes? Then, right? And then, there may be persons that you know, but you don't know that well, and that's what you call an acquaintance. You just see them from time to time. That could be a neighbor, that could be your colleague at work, that's an acquaintance. You're familiar with them, but you really don't know them that well. The next category is friends. After friends, you may have a close friend. You have intimate friends, and then later on you may have a romantic partner or husband, wife, and in the center of the circle is where you stand. In the center of the circle is where we actually look at what it means to actually walk in, to live self-existently, which means you are in God identity. Now, your communication must be managed according to these different relationships. Right? That means that the communication that you would have with your spouse, you cannot have with a stranger. The communication that you have with a close friend, you cannot have with an acquaintance. The communication that takes place with a spouse, with an intimate friend, you cannot have with a normal friend. Your communication must be managed. Now, very frequently, How many of us here can say that you have a friend because, well, he and I play video games, so that's my friend? Have you ever come across that perspective?
Sometimes, but to me, when I end up looking at other people, let's say if I do play around with them, let's say like online playing video games, I would say, yeah, I could call him a friend, but it's not like we're it's close to as I actually have personal friends and I know in real life. That's would be a different meaning for me instead of just saying like, oh, everyone that I meet is my friend.
Right, right. Now, one of the things in particular that this is actually connected to is how we actually, how and why we name these persons with these titles. Right now, we're speaking about trust, wisdom in communication, and part of wisdom in your communication is understanding the communication that you're supposed to have with these different categories. And before we can actually get to that, the first thing I would like to highlight here today is many people that you will encounter in your life will actually call you one of these titles here, depending on what they think that they can benefit from you. Have you ever encountered that? Somebody says you're a friend because they have a particular game that they want to play. And so once you have that game, you are their friend.
I don't know if I came across any of that, but yeah, I don't think I can. No.
All right, so let me reframe the question. Have you ever come across anybody who identifies as your friend because they can get something from you? Think about it.
There's not really any situations coming up like that for me.
Well,
unless it's like if someone tried to gift me something that I was looking for a long time, like would that count? Or even though I don't know them that much.
well, that's a like an inversion to what we're saying there, but it's technically the same thing. Has anybody ever given you something and then call them and then call themselves your friend?
Hmm.
Do you know anybody that has connected to you because they feel lonely? They don't want to um, they don't want to be alone. Or they're looking for a gaming partner. Because you're looking for a game partner, you are their friend. That sound familiar?
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it's
some,
not really bringing up because I don't know if I was ever in those type of situations.
A thought came to my mind about that, like an illustration. I don't know if it's closer, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's you know how a baby doesn't go to somebody
right.
and they won't go to nobody, but when they come out with some chips or some other stuff,
Right, right,
then
right.
you they friend. Like before they was not talking to you.
Right, right, right.
So they wanted the chips, so then they be like, "Oh yeah, I'll talk to you now."
Yeah, that's a good example.
Okay.
That's a good example. That has never happened. All right.
Yeah, at least that example actually it brings it up where with the baby scenario. Yeah, that does work.
Right. So let's look at a scenario just like that. A simple scenario. You go out with a friend and your friend knows that you have money on you. And they say, hey, I'm your friend. Because they know that you could purchase them something to drink. You ever encountered anybody who has actually done that? Let's say, let's change the scenario again. You go out with a friend, and this particular friend feels like, apart from your interactions, they don't feel like they have friends, so they feel lonely. And so they come on you and they're calling you their friend because they're feeling lonely. Would you call that a true friend?
I don't really know if that would be a true friend because it depends on if you know them personally. 'Cause if you did know them for like maybe a long time, then maybe that would be like a friend. But if let's say you don't, then I would say no. You probably would label them as an acquaintance or stranger.
Okay, so what for you makes somebody a friend?
Well, to me, for when I think of a friend, is where somebody that ends up knowing you, knowing your family, possibly a little bit of your interests and little things about you.
Okay, and what do you think in particular will cause you to lose that friend?
Hmm.
What's the one thing you know will cause you to lose that friend?
Double cross me.
Double cross you.
Yeah, it's like if you backstab the person by telling lies about and spreading rumors, I would say maybe that would be a way that you would probably lose a friend.
Okay. What about you, Legoby?
Yeah.
Huh?
Can you say the question again?
The question was, what do you use to determine whether somebody is your friend?
Okay. Okay. Me, if there are time, basically, knew them for a very long time. And basically what Kiana said for one of the questions, if a parents or family knew each other.
Okay, okay. All right. Lionel, how would you determine a friend? What determines a friend for you?
Friend to me, is someone that we can both have equal respects to each other.
So just respect for you. Mutual
Someone
respect.
that has respect for me and, is there for me. And is like, it's not just like there just because they're bored, they're because they're your friend. That's what I mean.
All right, all right. Nice. All right, so you all may not be in positions where you might be.
Can you
Is-
forget Leo? Sorry.
Who?
Leo.
Leo. What determines a friend for you? I didn't even see Leo. RIPEXE. What I mean, right?
I seen that came on Roblox.
You would
Ah,
have to have earned my trust over time.
to earn your trust.
Yeah.
And how do they earn your trust?
Like let's say if like I spend like if I see them often or spend time with them and like if they actually proven themselves to like be trustworthy, then I would like treat them as a friend.
So what to you breaks the friendship?
I don't really know.
Okay, so what determines that they're not a friend?
It's like if after that time and I actually trust them and then they end up to either be faking it or to or just end up going against that trust, then I guess I, they wouldn't really be my friend anymore.
Okay. All right. Now, notice how each and every one of you, your answers kind of slightly varying, right? Huh? Oh. Yeah, you notice how your answers are slightly varying, yes? Everybody answers.
Yeah, some of us have different answers for what a friend would be.
Right, right. And this in particular is something that you want to actually be mindful of. Right? I know what I'm about to say here. Probably nobody really sat down and spoken about it because we just assume that, well, this is what a friend should be, and we go looking for that. Right? And there is a big factor that is involved there that most people don't know. Most of the times, the things that you're looking for, you've never really communicated. Does that resonate? Most of the times that every one of you, the one thing that you're looking for friendship, you've never really communicated. Which means if there are 4 of you here, well, 3, excluding Holy Sister Odiela and myself. So let's say the 5 of us here, including Holy Sister Odiela and myself, and the 5 of us have different understanding of friendship, that means that, let's say Lego B and I decide to be friends. Holy Sister Odiela decide to be friends with Candice Swirl and RIP. That means that all of us looking for different things for friendships, and none of us know what is actually the next person's perspective, which means that we have expectations that we have not told them. Usually, we don't communicate it to them. With those expectations present, do you think it is fair to even continue the relationship with expectations that you have not communicated? Or do you think that the relationship will work out? Yeah, no, you don't know?
Well, probably if you haven't communicated what you're looking for, then most likely no, it's not going to work if you haven't communicated it.
Exactly. So let's start right there. There are 2 things in particular that I want to take into consideration here. One, that when it comes to communication, wise communication means that firstly, when it comes to your relationships, that you communicate what your expectations are. If you have not communicated it, then it is unspoken. And if it is unspoken, then the next person doesn't know what matters for you. And if they don't know what matters for you, then they don't know what to do and to know what not to do. They don't know what to do, nor what not to do. Is that making sense so far? Which
Yeah, that
means,
makes sense.
right? So which means if you have a friend and you have a conversation with this particular friend, what should you do for the conversation? For what should you do for the benefit of your friendship? So that the friendship goes well, what should you do? Instead of not speaking about it, what should we do?
We'll communicate.
You want to start having start having a conversation, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You want to start having a conversation to let them know what that is. Second question. This is where it started to get real. Everybody gave a different answer. Do you know that some of your answers is you actually determining what a friend is based on external influence?
I guess that would be, because how else are you supposed to? Well, if you're looking from the outside, that's where what else you would be most likely seeing what you either get information on, or so I guess you could say, yeah, it would be from external.
And not only is it just information, sometimes you're actually looking for a friend on the condition that they meet your criteria. And in some cases, you could actually be saying that that's your friend. But if you're really actually saying that this was not my friend, if they meet this particular criteria, then you are actually using an external influence to give them that title. And if you're using that external influence to give them that title, that will then also mean that very easily, you could be technically having a relationship with yourself. Because really and truly, you're just looking for the person to actually fulfill what you desire. So if you're looking for them to fulfill what you desire, especially without spoken expectations, clearly communicated expectations, if you actually looking for them to fulfill what you desire without clear communication, would you say that you actually have a friend, or are you technically using what they are actually providing for you? Think about it. Is this making sense? Not making sense?
Just trying to wrap my head around this thing. Because if you're saying that if you didn't communicate like what you're looking for in a friendship,
right?
I wouldn't say that would be a friend if you don't explain like what you're looking for. You probably would just be using the person for something that maybe you can't get if they don't know.
Something that is fulfilling for you.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, you're using them to fulfill what you want. Now, do you see why communication and wise communication is necessary?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Very important.
You might say that you're actually having a relationship with them or a friendship with them, when really and truly, you're really having a friendship with yourself, because you want something and they actually providing it for you. Making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. RIP. That making sense? Yeah. Lionel, is that making sense?
Yes.
Nice. Lego B.
Yep.
Nice. So having established that, that's not a good thing. Because
Yeah,
if
making sense.
all right, so that's not a good thing. Because if you actually not communicating that and you actually looking to get them to fulfill that for you, especially where there's no communication, you're using them. And how would you feel if somebody actually just wanted, like, if just amongst the circle, let's say I wanted somebody who could be my partner to play a game, a boss partner, and I realize you real good. And I said, look, let me be his friend. Just because you could join me and beat a team. Would you feel valued or would you feel used? Listen to this scenario again. I meet one of you. Let's say I meet Lego B. And I realize Lego B is an expert at this particular game. And Lego B could help me. He could join me, and the both of us could actually win and gain prizes. And I say, let me be Lego B's friend. Would you feel valued, Lego B, or would you feel like I'm just using it?
I would feel balanced.
Say again?
Okay. I would feel
You feel used, yeah?
yeah, feel used.
Because I don't really have enough friendship with you. I'm actually having a friendship with what you could give me. Now, if you carry on a friendship like that, anyone who does any one of you all that, how would you feel?
Well, if someone's using me for maybe a talent that I can able to do, then
And friendship won't
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't
friendship
like
won't
that.
last.
You'll feel used.
Mm-hmm.
RIP, you wouldn't feel used? Lionel, you wouldn't feel used? Okay, RIP said he doesn't know. What do you mean you don't know? As in, explain.
Like I don't know if I feel valued or like if I get used.
So if I actually team up with you, and I say I'm your friend, I team up with you just to actually win something, am I showing you value or am I using it? Let me just change the scenario. I team up with your friend, I team up and be your friend because you have money. And I know that because you have money, when we go out, you will buy all the juice. Am I using you or am I valuing you?
That would be using me.
I'm using you. And if somebody does that, you will feel good about that?
Not really.
You'll feel betrayed.
Yeah.
Because when you say friend, there's an expectation that this person cares about you, right?
Yep.
Oh, this right here is why communication is necessary. Not only is communication necessary, but you also need to be able to be wise with regards to how you are choosing people in this category right here. Who is the stranger? Who is the acquaintance? Who's the friend? Who's the close friend? Who's the intimate friend? Who's the girlfriend? Who's the boyfriend? And who you are.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
What I seen here is also being aware of, because if you don't know, if you're not aware of this communication, that you automatically think this person is your friend.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think that they're using you, you know,
That's
because
true.
you don't understand this part right here.
Right.
Right.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. You'll be used and it'll never even cross your mind that you're actually being used because you never really thought about the fact that this person just validating a friend, validating you as a friend because they want something. Right? Now, hear the thing about this. I want you all to seriously think about this. Now, what I'm talking about you with you all here, you're probably never going to hear it outside of royal rulers. Right? Which is why royal rulers is so important. Watch this. Look at where now you can actually find yourself in a position that could be very disadvantageous. So let's say RIP and I going out on a mission. And I know RIP could buy all the juice, so I am RIP's friend because he going to buy the juice. And a fight takes place. Big scuffle start. And in that scuffle, RIP is actually looking towards me to help him out in the fight. But that fight not giving me juice. So I there for the juice. I have no juice here. Right? RIP end up in the fight, and when RIP look around, I gone. Because I there for the juice. How would RIP feel?
So betrayed. I thought you were my friend.
Exactly.
Yes, betrayed.
Betrayed. And that's what you're doing when you actually have your own perspectives and you validate someone as your friend. What you're doing is setting yourself up for betrayal. Here's another scenario. Let's change it up a bit. Let's say I go with RIP. RIP giving me juice. And I get vexed. Because RIP makes me his friend, he has the expectation of trustworthiness. Not so, RIP? You trust that I care about you, right?
Yeah.
If I turn around and I start to beat you up, would you expect that?
Nope.
And because you call me a friend and you give me that trust, when I start to beat you up, it's very, very unlikely that you are going to be able to stop and defend yourself because of the trust you give me. When I start to act against you, you will be paralyzed because you're not accustomed defending yourself against people that you trust. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Now, this is how people actually hurt other people. This is how people, even in society today, there are many cases of men who meet women, young girls, could be your age group, and you call them your friend because they're giving you this that you want. You validate them as friend, and you go out with them, and next thing you know, this guy turns around and he sexually violates you. But because you see him as a friend, when he begins to take action against you, you feel paralyzed. You can't respond and defend yourself. Because you call him a friend, you put trust that he did not necessarily demonstrate to you. Is that making sense?
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
And for men, young men, it's the same thing that could happen to you. You can meet a nice young lady. She looks pretty. Right? You call her friend because she's giving you something that you want that you didn't really communicate either. You didn't come to any kind of agreement. You call a friend, and in your mind, you give her the trust that you give a friend. And she makes something for you and put poison in your juice. And you drink that and end up in the hospital. Or she calls some friends and they start to beat you up. You'll feel betrayed, right? but you will not even fight back because the trust that you give her paralyzes you from actually responding to defend yourself. It is very dangerous, extremely dangerous, to actually have criteria and validate people in your lives based on things that you want. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lionel, making sense?
Yes.
So where's the answer here now? Where's the solution? The solution is, instead of using all of these external things that you're using to validate your friends, the first thing that you want to do,
Is look into your spirit, man.
exactly.
Yourself.
The first thing you want to do is to start to define who you are, what you are, and what you represent. And according to your spirit, who are you?
Elohim.
You are Elohim. What are you? You are a creator. And what do you stand for? Now, if your name is self-existent, your spirit is self-existent, then what you want to stand for is integrity and equity. That's what you want to stand for. Integrity and equity. What is integrity?
Okay.
Integrity is basically being true to what you are. And always being truthful. Being true to what you are means that you're always truthful. You don't speak lies. Integrity means that you adhere strictly to what you are, which is Elohim. You are an authority. You are powerful. You are a creator. Right? That means you don't seek things like you're using, all those things that we just used there to try to say, well, if this person does it, he's a friend. That's external things. If you are a creator, then you don't need anything externally. So in that case, what you want to do is to create a friendship, not use people for friendship. And equity means that you want to make sure that you represent that everybody must be treated justly and fairly. Now, when you identify that in yourself, then you can begin to identify whether people around you, those who call in yourself your friends, you want to know, you could then identify integrity and equity in them. And when you identify integrity and equity in them, then that is a candidate for you to create a friendship with. Is that making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So if you have been using what you just explained, like all of the external factors that each and every one of you explained, then what I want you to do is to reconsider everybody who have been in these different categories in your life. Because everybody in these categories, you would have put them there based on what you wanted. So for homework, until tomorrow, what I want you to do is to write down these categories right here. Strangers, acquaintance, friend, close friends, intimate friend. I hope you don't have spouses at this age. And the identity in the center. Right? Spouses are so when in your early 20s something, right? young adults. Wait, Candice, how are you? How old are you?
Pardon, speak that again?
How old are you?
I'm around 20. Don't worry, I don't have any of that.
Okay. Well, that might apply to you if you have any, right?
Mhm.
Right. So for everybody else, you shouldn't have this at this age. So what I want you to do to write down these categories and write down everybody you have put under those categories. And I want you to ask yourself the question: are they that in your life because of what you want? Because if you've put them there because of what you want, then you're not, then technically you might have put them there and you might have expectations of them that they're not going to meet because you have not determined their trustworthiness. And you might also may have them there because they're giving you something that you want. And tomorrow we will talk about how to actually reframe that so that you can actually establish people in your lives according to integrity and equity. And then we'll then talk about how you manage your communication with wisdom with these particular categories. Is that making sense for everybody?
Yeah.
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 All right. So what's
And
the
I just took pictures of these. So
okay. Would you all want me to send the image to you?
no, I got the images on my phone now.
All right.
Don't worry, I screenshotted it so that I can take a look at it real closely.
Okay, good. Great. All right. Well, on that note, I think Holy Sister Odiela, we can wrap it up here tonight. Yeah? Have I exceeded your time?
Oh yeah. We started a little late. It's
Okay.
okay, but it's very interesting. We need to know about this.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, I find it very necessary to actually talk about this here when it comes to, because life is about relationship. Anything you're dealing with is some relationship that you're actually having with someone, whether it is a relationship with a stranger, an acquaintance, a friend. And I don't know if you agree, but it's very rarely do you find people actually talking to you about how to actually interact with people, how you're validating them in your life. And next thing you know, people facing disappointments and betrayals and they feeling hurt and they want to take their life because nobody really explained to them how you go about actually stewarding your life and how you go about electing the persons that you're giving these titles to. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, make a lot of sense.
And it could be real detrimental.
Yeah.
It could be real
And you know what?
detrimental.
I see this also as a discernment,
It is, yeah.
using discernment from your spirit man. And we've been talking about that integrity
Equity.
and equity and Candy Squirrel. A lot of those have been her answer.
It's true. I have been saying that.
So
Integrity and
yeah,
equity is necessary.
it's when we have guests, it's awesome to hear some of the stuff that they already been learning.
Right. That's awesome. And integrity and equity, if there's one thing in particular I can tell you that would guide you in your life to know what to do and when to do it and when not to do it, is integrity and equity.
That's awesome.
It'll guide you with regards to decisions, it'll guide you with regards to the people that you have around you. Integrity and equity will always guide you correctly and always keep you out of mental health issues.
That's a good one.
The answer to mental health issues is responsibility to principle, integrity, and equity. If you ain't take anything that I say here today, write that down and put it up on your wall.
And we've been talking about that too, the principles. You
Yeah.
know, the name of God is principle and functionality.
Right.
So it's like coming together like a nice puzzle.
Nice, nice, very nice, very nice. So, how much time is actually the time frame that you use here? 1 hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So let me
tomorrow,
go over
60
this.
minutes.
Yeah, we start at 7 to 8. Sometimes we still go over it even when we don't have a guest. Sometimes
Okay,
when it's getting good.
right, right, right. All right. Well, so then tomorrow we will keep it within the 60 minutes.
Okay.
Because tomorrow what I'll have to do is have them reorientate this and actually show them how they go about allocating persons in their life so that they can sit down and put that down on paper and see, this is the person here. And does this person match this category?
Mm-hmm.
Are they in integrity? Are they equitable to
Right.
stay in this category? Because you might be putting people into friend categories that are really acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Nice.
And you could have them as an intimate friend and they're really acquaintances. And you don't know that because you're using them to give you something.
Right. So that's like self-examination too of
Mhm.
how you choosing people in your life.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Awesome.
think I'll pause here today. So I'll pass this back to you, Holy Sister Odiela.
Okay, we back. Let me see. Do I see it?
Hold on. That's something.
Okay. You
And
go
then
into.
there you go.
There you go. You are now the host.
Yes, you're now the host.
All right. Well, everybody, we got our homework. Let's start, discerning,
Hmm.
with the integrity and equity. So we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Well, and before we go, could I ask one question of everybody? What is the one thing that you got from tonight for
Ah,
you?
yeah.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
What I got for tonight, it what he said about you know what to say about a certain game. I'm like at the highest level you can get, say 10 million, and you're the lowest level. And I helped you get up to the obstacle. Then you decide to become my friend, and you step. Okay, and yeah, basically you using me to get up every, probably every single obstacle of the game. Just because you just want to be okay. You'd want to be my friend because I can get you up and all, beat all the levels for you.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. What I want to say.
Awesome. Awesome. So you learn that you need to actually identify who actually just wants something from you and who really care about you. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
I was probably going to say that with the whole friend thing as well, is that you can't really be a friend to someone if you're just going to be using them for a specific need that you want. If you really want to be a friend with the person, you really got to have to communicate, or in this case, step and say, "Hey, I actually want to be your friend, not because you have the certain skill I need. It's because I want to get to know you."
Right. You want to be equitable to them.
Hmm.
Right. Right. Lovely. Lionel?
What I got, well, I have two things I got. Well,
Mhm.
the one thing was what they said is the friend thing was that one, you can't you don't that's how you have to watch who you're being friends with because you can't really think about who your friend just because they're you're being nice to them doesn't mean that that they might be your actual friend. They might just be using you. So you gotta find the right people because you need to find the right person so that someone can help you out when you need stuff. And
Right.
someone that can also have equal respects or they won't just use you for things all the time.
Right.
The the second thing I got was that I when you were talking about Elohim and like how who we are, I was like I was I was talking about how I was here for a reason and I was born in this place to find my purpose. That's also something I got.
Awesome. Awesome. Lovely. And RIP.
Well, what I learned tonight was basically that you are a creator. So like if you need something, you shouldn't go to like try and find or use external things, but instead you should like use what you have and put into use to be able to create it.
Lovely. Lovely. Awesome. Nice. Good feedback. Like to hear that. Good stuff.
And I got you identify the integrity or the equity, and you create friends. You create a friend instead of use a person.
Nice. Create your friendships.
Hmm. That was
Integrity,
pretty good.
integrity and equity will always help you determine the people that are of good character to be around.
Right.
People who do have integrity and equity, which is what we'll be talking about tomorrow, those are not people you want to have around you. They will stab you in your back when the time comes.
Okay.
They will cut your throat when you least expect it. So don't get comfortable with them at all.
Okay. Exactly.
All right. So on that note, what is the story there?
Yes, we're gonna close out. Anybody, any one of y'all want to pray? Don't everybody go at the same time, okay?
Well, let me pray. Let me pray.
Okay.
All right. So, holy and self-existent Father, we thank you for this meeting. We thank you that you have ordained this meeting and that you have foreordained that we would speak about this.
Yes.
You have foreordained that each and every person here would have excellent relationships, would have quality friendships, would have relationships that are of divine quality, in sincerity, in integrity, in the rest of equity, in peace, quality friendships and quality relationships, and even quality romantic connections that would give them a sense of delight, a sense and the sense of security in union, whether in friendship, friends, close friends, romantic relationships, and in future marriages, that they will have the security of union that you have foreordained that we should have. I thank you, Father, for bringing to light what we spoke about here tonight for each and every one of them, and for quickening their discernment concerning those that they have in their lives right now, and those that they may have put attributed trust to, that they should not have attributed trust to, and those that they may have not trusted, but really are the persons that they should trust. Thank you, Father, for the discernment that you put into them as they go about their assignment, that they will arrive tomorrow with the assignment completed, and with an awareness, of those that they put into those categories, so that we can actually adequately reframe them tomorrow in the way that they should be. Be blessed and go in peace. Amen.
Amen.
So
Amen.
be it.
Amen.
So be it.
So be it. Thank
So
you.
be it indeed.
All right. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Mwah.
Tomorrow it is multiplied blessings
Yes. Have a
All
good
right.
night.
and
All
multiplied
right.
love.
See y'all tomorrow. God bless.
All right.
Right.
Hey,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.